Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Labour and asks, why is the government introducing legislation to restrict union access to workplaces when the Department of Labour advises that there is no widespread evidence of union representatives misusing the current system?
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr Speaker, thank you, Mr Speaker. As I have said previously, I agree that union representatives do not widely abuse the current system. However, where abuse does occur, it can cause significant disruption and badly impact workplace productivity. I don't agree that this change will restrict union access at all. Employers cannot unreasonably withhold access, so unions and union members' rights remain protected.
That's right.
Supplementary. How can the Minister say that the problems she refers to are big enough to require legislation when her own Department of Labour in the regulatory impact statement says, quote, "There does not appear to be widespread evidence of union representatives exercising their current rights to enter workplaces in an inappropriate way, resulting in disruption for business operations or adversely impacting on the employment relationship between employer and union members."
Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Very, very easily actually, but Mr Speaker, a subsequent policy paper also says that providing discretion could enable employers to undertake better business planning, for example avoiding any unforeseen stoppages and potentially rescheduling activities around employee availability. The reality, Mr Speaker, is that this is not a widespread problem, but where abuse does occur, it can cause significant disruption.
Keith Locke.
Supplementary. Why is she departing from the existing legislation, which does cover over the problems she's just referred to, when the wording in the Employment Relations Act specifies that union access is restricted to reasonable times and reasonable ways, having regard to normal business operations and complying with existing health and safety requirements and security procedures? Surely that's enough.
Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr Speaker, this is a small change which merely clarifies an area where there has been some uncertainty.
Keith Locke.
Does she agree with the Department of Labour in its regulatory impact statement that, quote, "current arrangements provide an appropriate balance of fairness to employers, employees and unions," end quote? If not, why not?
Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr Speaker, the change that we are making to the employment relations legislation in relation to union access is actually fair and reasonable and pragmatic. It is a small change which will remove some uncertainty. Uncertain law is neither good for employers nor employees.
That's right.
Keith Locke.
How is it pragmatic and how will giving employers up to 2 days to respond to a union request to go on site seriously frustrate the work of union officials and the workers they are representing?
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr Speaker, can I suggest to the member that if he has an issue with 2 days and he thinks that it is either too long or too short, that he can make submissions during the Select Committee scrutiny?
Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and thank you for that small concession. But what advice would she give in this respect to a worker who needs support from their union representatives to resolve an urgent workplace problem like bullying or sexual harassment, only to see their union locked in a long, drawn-out battle with their employer for union access?
Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Mr Speaker, the employment regime is based on being fair and reasonable. We have put in a protection so that employers cannot unreasonably withhold access to unions. That is an objective test, not a subjective test.
Keith Locke.
What guarantees can she provide that her legislation won't be used by employers with a strong anti-union bias to deny union access to the workplace, such as happened in 2004 when the exclusive Brethren denied the Engineering, Printing and Manufacturing Union access to represent migrant workers under a loophole then in the Employment Relations Act, which was later closed?
Mr Speaker, if the member reads the legislation, he will see that actually we are very mindful of any abuses of the employment system, and that is why we've actually doubled the penalties for employers.
Question Oh, sorry, Grant. Oh, question number 7, Grant Robertson.